As the nights draw in and a chill returns, Britons begin their annual ritual, guessing what winter will bring. This year, the 2025 to 2026 winter feels especially uncertain, with rare and conflicting signals swirling above us. Meteorologists are on high alert, watching a global tug-of-war between forces that could bring either mild rain or a deep freeze. The main players? La Niña, sudden stratospheric warming, the quasi-biennial oscillation, and the Indian Ocean dipole, all active at once. Each pushes our weather in different directions, making this winter a true meteorological puzzle. The stakes are high. Beyond just needing an extra jumper, we could see major disruptions to daily life and infrastructure. The stage is set for a winter of sudden shifts, one that could go down in the history books. Brace yourself. This season could be anything but ordinary. La Niña, the little girl of the Pacific, is a climate phenomenon that quietly but powerfully shapes weather patterns across the globe. While its name might sound gentle, its effects are anything but subtle, especially when it comes to influencing the world's climate. When La Niña is active, it can trigger a cascade of dramatic weather events, ranging from intense storms and heavy rainfall in some regions to severe droughts and heat waves in others. Its reach is truly global, and the UK is no exception. By cooling the tropical Pacific, La Niña subtly shifts the jet stream, sometimes blocking the usual flow of mild Atlantic air to the UK. This shift in the upper atmosphere can have a domino effect, altering the paths of storms and changing the character of our winters. This can open the door for Arctic or Siberian cold to sweep in, as seen in the memorable freeze of 2010 to 2011. That winter, the UK experienced some of its coldest and snowiest conditions in decades, with widespread disruption and a landscape transformed by ice and snow. This winter, a weak La Niña is in play. Less dramatic, but still enough to tilt the odds toward early season cold. Meteorologists are watching closely, as even a modest La Niña can nudge the weather in unexpected directions. It's a background influence, quietly loading the dice for a chillier start. Think of it as a silent hand, gently tipping the balance toward frostier mornings and a greater chance of wintry weather. While not a guarantee of snow, it weakens our usual defenses against cold, making a wintry outbreak more likely. The UK's weather is always a mix of many factors, but La Niña's presence means we need to be prepared for surprises. La Niña is the first piece of the puzzle, hinting at a winter with colder than usual potential. It's just one factor, but an important one, setting the tone for the months ahead. Its influence may fade as the season progresses, but it sets the stage for what's to come, reminding us that, in the world of weather, even a whisper from the Pacific can echo across an entire continent. High above the Arctic, the stratospheric polar vortex spins, a vast, invisible engine of winter weather. This swirling mass of frigid air circles the pole, acting as a barrier that keeps the coldest air locked away from lower latitudes. It's a silent guardian, holding back the Arctic's icy grip from the rest of the world. But this fortress of cold can be breached. If the vortex is disrupted, the cold it contains can spill southward, transforming weather patterns far below. Enter sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW, a dramatic, rapid spike in stratospheric temperatures that can shatter the vortex's stability. When this happens, the polar vortex weakens or even splits, unleashing a surge of Arctic air that can plunge deep into Europe and beyond. This winter, meteorologists are tracking a rare early SSW event, something that's only happened a handful of times in the past 70 years. It's a meteorological wildcard, and its timing is especially unusual. SSWs are the single biggest precursor to UK cold snaps, setting the stage for events like the infamous Beast from the East in 2018, when snowstorms and freezing winds brought the country to a standstill. The fact that this SSW is arriving early means the atmosphere has more time to react, increasing the likelihood of a major cold outbreak in January or February. The longer lead time gives cold air more opportunities to surge south. Yet SSWs are notoriously unpredictable. Sometimes the cold air diverts east or west, bypassing the UK entirely, and leaving us with little more than a chilly breeze. Still, the pressure is building in the atmosphere. Imagine a bottle being shaken, the tension mounting, ready to burst at any moment. The potential for dramatic change is real. This early SSW is the most potent ingredient in this winter's atmospheric recipe, and scientists are watching closely for signs of what might come next. It's a signal to be prepared, a sudden, severe shift from mild to deeply cold could be just around the corner, and the UK must be ready for whatever winter has in store. Supporting the headline acts are two more global patterns: the quasi-biennial oscillation, QBO, and the Indian Ocean Dipole, IOD. This winter, the QBO is in its easterly phase, making the polar vortex weaker and more vulnerable to disruption, perfect conditions for an SSW to have maximum impact. Meanwhile, a negative IOD in the Indian Ocean encourages high pressure over the North Atlantic, blocking mild air and favoring cold outbreaks. Both are early season players, amplifying the risk of a blocked colder pattern in December and January. Together with La Niña, they create a trio of subtle but significant nudges toward a weaker jet stream and more cold air intrusions. These background forces harmonize with the SSW, setting the stage for dramatic weather. Their combined influence is strongest early in the season, before fading. The result? A winter primed for sudden severe cold spells. Despite all these cold signals, most long-range computer models predict a milder-than-average UK winter. They see record warm Atlantic waters and climate change as dominant, overwhelming the rare cold drivers. But models can struggle with unusual combinations like this year's, especially early SSWs. Many meteorologists argue the models are missing the risk of a short, severe cold snap. It's possible to have a mild winter overall, but with a brutal 2-week freeze that defines the season, the debate is fierce. Global drivers warn of severe cold, models say mild. The likely outcome? A winter of two halves, long mild spells, punctuated by a dramatic, disruptive freeze. We must prepare for both possibilities. To understand what's coming, we look to the past, so-called analog years, with similar atmospheric setups. By studying these historical patterns, meteorologists and weather enthusiasts alike can gain valuable insights into what the future might hold. The past doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it often rhymes, offering clues about the types of winter weather we might experience. Winters like 1983 to 84, 1995 to 96, 2008 to 09, and 2017 to 18 all featured cold spells amid otherwise average conditions. These years remind us that even when a winter seems ordinary, sudden and severe cold snaps can still strike, catching many off guard. The winter of 2017 to 18, for example, was unremarkable until a late SSW unleashed the beast from the east. This event brought widespread disruption, with heavy snow and biting winds sweeping across the country, shutting down transport and schools, and reminding everyone how quickly conditions can change. In 2010 to 11, La Niña and blocking brought one of the coldest Decembers on record. The country was gripped by persistent cold, with temperatures plunging well below average and snow blanketing much of the UK for weeks. These analogs show that even a single month of extreme cold can cause chaos, regardless of the season's average. Disruptions to travel, infrastructure, and daily life can be severe, even if the rest of the winter is relatively mild. History warns us, when these drivers are in play, the risk of a cold, snowy period is high, especially in the second half of winter. Late-season snowfalls and cold snaps have caught the UK off guard before, and they could do so again. The past teaches us not to be lulled by a mild start. Just because the early months are gentle doesn't mean winter is over. Sometimes the most severe weather arrives when we least expect it. A sting in the tail is a real possibility. The closing weeks of winter can bring dramatic changes, with icy winds and heavy snow sweeping in almost overnight. We should be wary and prepared. By learning from history, we can take practical steps, like stocking up on essentials, checking heating systems, and staying alert to forecasts, to ensure we're ready for whatever winter may bring. Record-breaking winter once meant months of relentless cold, but today's climate has changed the rules. With warmer oceans and less Arctic ice, a season-long freeze like 1963 is nearly impossible. Now, records are more likely to be set by the intensity or speed of a cold snap, a sudden 20-degree temperature drop, or a month's snow in a single day. The real threat is not a 3-month ice age, but 1 or 2 short, vicious cold spells that overwhelm modern infrastructure. The clash between cold drivers and background warmth creates a volatile mix, primed for extreme events. Heavy, wet snow could bring down power lines and cripple transport. The most likely outcome? A mild winter overall, but with a few devastating punches from the cold. This winter may be remembered for its shocking extremes, not its duration. With the risk of a severe cold snap, UK authorities are quietly preparing for the worst. Emergency planners, councils, and the NHS are reviewing winter contingency plans, learning from the chaos of the beast from the east. Salt barns are stocked, and major roads prioritized for gridding, though smaller streets may still be left isolated in a big snow. Local authorities are setting up emergency shelters and warm banks for those struggling with heating costs. The NHS braces for more hospital admissions, while energy companies prepare for surging demand. Despite these efforts, a sudden freeze would still cause major disruption. Our just-in-time society is fragile. The Met Office urges vigilance, promising clear, timely warnings as conditions evolve. The nation stands ready, hoping for the best, but preparing for a true test of resilience. This winter could challenge us all. With so much uncertainty, personal preparation is key. Stay informed, monitor Met Office warnings, and adjust your plans accordingly. Check your heating, sweep chimneys, and know where your water stopcock is in case of frozen pipes. Assemble a winter kit: torches, batteries, first aid, non-perishable food, bottled water, and a charged power bank. If you must travel, ensure your car is winter-ready and pack essentials like a blanket, shovel, and warm drink. Heed travel advice. Don't risk journeys in severe weather. Most importantly, look out for others. Check on elderly or vulnerable neighbors and family. Community spirit will be vital. Sometimes a phone call or knock on the door can make all the difference. This winter promises surprises, but by preparing and supporting each other, we can weather whatever comes. Stay alert, stay safe, and face the season together.